What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, leading up to San Diego Comic-Con Hall H, Kevin Feige had dropped a couple of direct quotes that probably should have warned us of Marvel Studios' change. And what we mean by that is he said they finally had a chance to just focus on the next couple of years at that presentation instead of doing the huge slate announcements like they used to. Now, obviously, they've learned from their mistakes because in the past, they've never been able to stick to the original release dates, and way too many projects has meant that some of them, like Blade, have had the can kicked down the road and for 5+ years. But it was still a little shocking to see that outside of the name and title change for Avengers 5, that film was already announced. In fact, they didn't fill in any of the brand new titles towards the end of the Multiverse Saga, and then in the following week via Variety would release their updated release date schedule, so we know there are films there, we just don't know what the titles are. There had been tons of rampant speculation about which films would be needed to sort of glue the end of the Multiverse Saga together. Some people speculating Doctor Strange 3, others Shang-CHI 2, and still there's rumors of a Thor 5. Plus, we know if they're still planning on making it that Armor Wars is going to take one of those release dates, and although Marvel isn't responsible for a date for Spider-Man 4, you can be sure that's going to be coming out around the same time as well. But we may have just found out exactly what one of those titles are via a huge confirmation from a film that we can now upgrade from the rumor mill to confirmed happening, coming from none other than Simu Liu himself in his most recent interview. As reported by Newsbites, they go on to say, quote, Simu Liu, who played the titular role in Marvel's Shang-CHI in The Legend of the Ten Rings, has confirmed that a sequel to the film is in the works. In an interview with PTI, Liu stated that while many details about the project are beyond his purview, he is certain that a sequel will be made. Fans had been anxious about the follow-up to the 2021 film due to the lack of updates from Marvel. Quick side note, I don't know that that's true. I mean, look, we had an idea that Eternals 2 may be scrapped, and Marvel Studios is definitely focusing on more important titles that serve bigger franchises like the Avengers film, but I think it was pretty clear with the success of Shang-CHI and just how good that movie was that character was going to be back sometime in the future. And I don't think it was ever any question that this film was going to get made, only because we know Destin Daniel Cretton is still working very hard over at Marvel Studios to wrap up Wonder Man. He was originally going to direct Avengers 5, and when he left that project, we all assumed it was because he can't do Shang-CHI 2 and Avengers 5 at the same time, and he would prefer to continue the franchise trilogy that he started. The article goes on to say, quote, Liu, who made history as the first actor of Asian descent to lead a Marvel superhero film, assured fans that a sequel to Shang-CHI 2 is indeed on the cards. Quote, a lot of it is above my pay grade, but it's definitely happening, he said, adding, so it's just very exciting to kind of work on it, and it's going to be amazing. I really can't say anything beyond that. Now, I saw some people this morning already trying to spin that line with the very excited to kind of work on it, that means that he's already working on it, maybe knows the story or the script. I think that's just reading too much into it. He really can't say anything beyond that, probably because he doesn't know anything beyond that. Probably because they haven't started developing the script, or at the very least, if they have, and they know they're about to do a story, it's unlikely that they've made it that far in pre-development, and the only reason I say that is because the industry insiders we usually report on are on top of this, and there's been no word. I also think there's still a chance that this film is in pre-development, but could come after the Multiverse Saga, but we'll talk about that in just a second. The article wraps up by saying, quote, when asked about his personal jackpot moment, Liu pointed to the opportunity to portray Shang-CHI as a pivotal point in his life and career. Quote, probably the main one thing I could think of is getting a call from Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige and that I was going to play Shang-CHI. He describes this moment that not only changed his life, but also impacted his friends and family. Now look, we know because of the recent updates to the slate, again, that Disney and Marvel released via Variety, that there are 2 in 2026 around Avengers 5, one before it and one after it. It's probably also the year that Spider-Man 4 will come out. And we know that there's one film to be released before Avengers 6 in 2026. So that only leaves 3 titles in and around the end of the Multiverse Saga. And as I said, unless they're moving it or canceling it, Armor Wars may take the spot of one of those films, which only leaves 2. But for films that definitely have to focus on where and what the Avengers are doing and the teams are doing in the middle of what we suspect is probably going to be a pretty fractured multiverse and or battle world, and this is possibly where we can start to find the answers to the forward-looking Easter egg that they gave us with the 10 rings themselves that we thought was going to get wrapped up in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, but really still haven't been tied to their own origin or how they relate to the Bangles of Miss Marvel, which I think that's going into its own storyline with this ancient weaponry, why it was there, what it was left for. And if that's not something that's keyed into the end of the Multiverse saga, that's why I briefly mentioned that I think there's a chance that this could be one of the films that's going to come out after the Multiverse saga is done when we start into the Mutant saga, because I think there is a connection there between Miss Marvel and Shang-Chi. And if you know about what Marvel has done now in the comics, Miss Marvel is a full-on mutant and tied to the X-Men team, which was super smart from Iman Vellani's standpoint, giving her a future in a lot of MCU projects in the Mutant saga, but probably on purpose from the top down with Marvel Studios and the Marvel marketing, entertainment, and what they wanted to do with that character, tying her over. Still, if there's something to do with ancient weaponry and that's got a tie between the bands and the 10 rings, which there's not a clear connection there. I'm just saying there may be reveals in the future that's meant for Shang-Chi to press forward, which means it doesn't have anything to do with the end of the Multiverse saga. I will also admit, even though we've heard very little about it, I think that there is no way one of these titles isn't Doctor Strange 3. It's just done the most work during this Multiverse saga of exploring key elements to the multiverse, where they left the film introducing Clea and them headed to the Dark Dimension. Look, at some point in the Multiverse saga, we're going back to that moment, or at least what happened right after, because it's got something to do with the storyline. So it would be impossible for them to sort of skirt this for the rest of the Multiverse saga. I don't think that was ever the plan. And like I've said, because there are so many limited dates that they can actually release films in between the two Avengers films that are coming in the next couple of years, I'm not sure Shang-Chi 2 gets to be one of those. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below. Would you prefer Shang-Chi 2 or Doctor Strange 3 or Thor 5? We can't have them all. Which ones do you want to actually play a role? Which films would you rather see as we conclude the Multiverse saga with Avengers Secret Wars? I'm all ears as always. Let me know down in the comments quickly. Let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Alright, we're still giving away PlayStation 5s here at the channel. We're just going to continue to do that until the PlayStation 5 Pro or the 6 comes out. Who knows which one will be first. In the meantime, we just gave one away for Deadpool and Wolverine, and the next one is next month, only weeks away now at this point, for Agatha All Along. If you want to be entered to win, or for any of the other future giveaways, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will always be announced at the end of videos, live with my voice and the winning comment shown on screen when there is one, so please be safe and vigilant on my channel, or really any channel on the platform. Remember that anybody can take another content creator's photo and claim to be them. No one will ever ask you to message them on a third-party app like Telegram or WhatsApp, and I promise you no content creator, myself included, will ever charge you for shipping. If you should get a comment like that, just report it immediately to YouTube and they will swiftly remove that account. Then you've done everybody on the platform a service, because it not only deletes that comment, but every comment they've left. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, and as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes under the name AllFires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.